Some men disappear without a trace. Others are erased so completely, the truth itself becomes negotiable. For decades, one name floated through whispered prison confessions, sealed FBI files, and the smoke-filled backrooms of organized crime. A man who claimed he pulled the trigger on one of the most infamous disappearances in American history, Jimmy Hoffa, a union titan, a power broker, a man who vanished from a suburban parking lot in broad daylight and was never officially found. But what if the man responsible wasn't hiding in shadows? What if he was talking, boasting, writing everything down? For 45 years, Donald "Tony the Greek" Frankos lived as a freelance executioner for the Mafia. He claimed to have met the most feared bosses in America. He claimed to have carried out hits that reshaped the underworld, and he claimed he knew exactly what happened to Hoffa. Tonight we step into the world of a man who treated murder like a profession, loyalty like currency, and fear like oxygen. Because in this story, the real question is not who died, it's how many secrets were buried with them. Donald "Tony the Greek" Frankos was a freelance hitman for the Mafia for 45 years. His long career placed him at the center of the criminal underworld. Frankos later claimed he had killed union leader Jimmy Hoffa, the former president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, who disappeared in 1975. In 1964, Hoffa had been convicted of attempting to bribe a grand jury member and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. However, President Richard Nixon later commuted his sentence. Hoffa was last seen in the parking lot of the Machus Red Fox Restaurant in Bloomfield Township, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. He had gone there expecting to meet two Mafia figures, Anthony "Tony" Jack Giacalone from Detroit and Anthony "Tony" Provenzano, vice president of Teamsters Local 560 in New Jersey. Daniel Sullivan, a former Teamster official and reformer, later recalled Hoffa confiding in him. Hoffa allegedly said that Provenzano had threatened to kill him or kidnap his grandchildren if he continued his attempts to regain leadership of the union. Frankos later claimed responsibility for Hoffa's murder, stating bluntly that he had shot him twice in the forehead. Frankos himself was raised in a violent household in Pennsylvania. After serving in the U.S. Navy, he went absent without leave in Manhattan, where he became involved with a prostitute struggling with heroin addiction. During this period, he murdered a troublesome pimp. While serving time in prison, his reputation as a hardened criminal and his apparent lack of hesitation toward violence caught the attention of Mafia figures. Soon after, Frankos began earning large sums of money as a contract killer. Throughout his career, Frankos encountered many notorious figures in organized crime. Among them were John Gotti, Joey Gallo, Frank Costello, Harlem drug kingpin Nicky Barnes, and Genovese crime boss Fat Tony Salerno. Frankos later claimed Salerno had ordered not only the hit on Hoffa, but also an unsuccessful attempt on Frank Sinatra. He also worked closely with Irish mobster John Sullivan, whom Frankos described as one of the most accomplished contract killers of his era. Eventually, Frankos was sentenced to 25 years to life in Attica State Prison. While incarcerated, he became a government witness and began writing his memoir, Contract Killer, the explosive story of the Mafia's most notorious hitman, co-authored with William Hoffman and Lake Headley. In the book, Frankos detailed the daily realities of life as a professional killer. Frankos described receiving one assignment during the summer of 1973 when he received an urgent phone call from John Sullivan. Sullivan instructed him to meet at Wolf's Deli in Manhattan. Frankos immediately sensed the call signaled a murder contract. After preparing himself, he walked 42 blocks to the deli, where Sullivan quickly informed him of the target, John Buster Della Valle. Della Valle had once served as a bodyguard, drug dealer, and hitman for Joey Gallo. Following Gallo's murder in 1972, internal Mafia conflicts intensified. Sullivan explained that Della Valle had allegedly murdered two young drug dealers connected to the Genovese crime family. The killings escalated tensions within organized crime circles and triggered retaliation orders. Frankos spent days preparing for the hit. He used disguises, including heavy makeup, wigs, and altered clothing. He also constructed a hidden compartment inside a hollowed-out radio to conceal a sawed-off shotgun. For several days, he surveilled Della Valle's suspected hangouts, but repeatedly failed to locate him. Eventually, Frankos spotted Della Valle inside a Greek restaurant. He entered disguised, confronted him quietly, and forced him outside at gunpoint without drawing attention. He then forced Della Valle into a stolen car and drove him away, while pretending he was only committing a robbery. During the drive, Della Valle attempted to negotiate for his life, offering money, businesses, and promises to disappear. Frankos later admitted that maintaining his reputation as a reliable killer mattered more to him than any bribe or negotiation. After stopping the car on a quiet street, he shot Della Valle twice in the back of the head, killing him instantly. Frankos then transported the body to a vegetable store that served as a front for storing stolen goods and weapons. There, he prepared to dismember the body to prevent identification. However, orders from Mafia leadership changed. Instead of destroying the body completely, Frankos was instructed to mutilate it as a warning to others who might betray or attack members of their own crime family. The body was eventually buried in a shallow grave in rural New York. It remained undiscovered until hunters found it months later in March 1974. Frankos was paid the remaining balance of the contract and later celebrated with Sullivan at a nightclub. Reflecting on the killing, Frankos described his sense of professional pride and financial reward, viewing the act as confirmation that he had successfully built a feared and respected reputation within the criminal underworld.